Hi, welcome back to Danny Harris Arts. This video is going to be a short recap of the 6-part twin bass woodcarving project that I just completed. And I started doing these recap videos several projects ago, and it's just a way that you can watch the entire process in a short Reader's Digest version of the whole series, if you will. And if you want to see something in more detail, you can go back and check out the series. But if you like this format, be sure and let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing and give me a thumbs up if you like these videos. So I'm gonna get the video started.
I start out by laying out my pattern on the block of wood and then rough it out on the bandsaw, and then start using a variety of coarse bits to hog off wood and get the rough shape down. This process takes me about 6 or 7 hours. After I get the body roughed out close to where I want it, I start laying out the head and gill detail. I use a couple flex cut knives to carve in the details so I can get nice crisp edges. Then I use a variety of diamond burrs to add more detail and kind of blend everything in. I love these padded drum sanders. I cut my fin blanks a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick, depending on how much motion I want to add to the fin. I add my center lines and draw in the motion that I'm going to carve into it. This project took me longer than I intended, partly because I was slammed at work for 3 months during our busy season, and the other reason was I was working on 2 fish at the same time. I told myself I wouldn't work on 2 projects at the same time again, and what happens? I get a commission to do 3 yellow, golden, rainbow trout, but I'm not complaining. Here I'm laying out guides to burn scales on, and this helps me keep consistent lines. Not perfect, I don't want perfect lines, but it helps me keep consistent lines. And I also mark out areas where the scale sizes change, both size and shape. Every fish species has a slightly different scale shape and pattern, and there can be multiple sizes and shapes even on the same fish. And you can't replicate that with commercially made fish scale tips. So for that reason, I make my own fish scale tips to match the species I'm carving. I have a video on that process, so if you want to make your own, you can check it out. Burning scales is one of the most time-consuming parts of the project, especially on a trout. I generally use 5 to 6 different sizes and scale shapes for each project, but on fish like bass and crappie and bluegill, the scales on the cheeks and gill covers are so irregular I don't have scale burning tips for those, so I freehand all these. I also add in details like growth rings. This just adds another level of realism. I normally make my own eyes also, but to save time on this project, I had a friend of mine that also makes eyes make me some for this project. I use epoxy sculpt to set the eyes and to mold the sclera and the eye socket detail. It's extremely important to set the eyes in the proper orientation in the head. Some guys use auto body filler to set the fins, but I find that's just a big mess. I prefer to use just plain old gel super glue and use an accelerant to set it. It creates a strong bond that's not going to break. The wood will break before the bond does. I use epoxy sculpt to blend the fins to the body. Here I'm using epoxy sculpt to form the muscle on the pectoral fin. Also use it on the pelvic fins. And I use one of my scale burning tips to imprint scales into the epoxy sculpt before it sets. This is the crawfish that I carved that goes on the habitat base, and this is the first time I did a crawfish. I have a separate 2-part video on carving and painting this guy and all the trials and tribulations that went along with it. This was my favorite part of this crawfish carve, was the antenna. I spent weeks thinking about how I was going to make these antennae. I asked several guys in some carving groups I'm in on Facebook how they did theirs, and I wasn't really impressed, and I wanted something with more detail. One day I was watching a video of a guy custom building a fishing rod, and he was wrapping the guides on the blank. And it struck me that I could wrap thread around a piece of wire to give it the segmented look that they have. So I experimented, and it worked great. I simply tapered a large jumbo paper clip and wrapped thread around it, and it gave it the segmented look that the antenna really have. So I patented the process. So if you guys want to use it, you have to send me $20. This was the original color that I ended up having to sand off because of a boneheaded mistake I made. So be sure and watch the painting video of this series to see why. Except for 1 or 2 applications, I've gotten away from using an airbrush to paint my fish with. I prefer to do it all by hand using dry brush techniques and transparent paint to build up colors. By doing it this way, it gives it a more lifelike, organic look. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. my habitat base, I carved the rocks out of scrap Tupelo and painted them with acrylic, and the gravel is made from Durham's water putty. Normally I carve any wood or branches that I use in my habitat base from 2x6 or 2x12 pine boards. But since this was not a competition piece, to save time, I went to Murray Lock and Dam on the Arkansas River, which is near me, and picked up a truckload of driftwood that's washed up on the banks below the dam. I don't mind using it for commission pieces that aren't going to be for competition.
All right, that's going to be it for this quick little recap video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure and let me know in the comment section below. And I'm getting ready to start a new project, and I'm going to be doing 3 golden yellow rainbow trout. So hope you'll join me for that, and I'll see you on the next project.